Thanks a million to KiwiCo for sponsoring this video. This is a ball of cat food, and this is a marble run. Combine the two and it doesn't actually fit. But I've built a larger one and it's quite possibly the coolest thing I've ever made. You see, my cat Ralph's favourite hobby is to meow relentlessly at 6 in the morning, which of course he's refusing to demonstrate on camera, until I have no choice but to get up and feed him. He's like the world's fluffiest alarm clock. I tried simply leaving enough food out the night before, but he just eats all of it in one sitting and still meows at me in the morning. So next I tried a smart cat feeder that I can either control with my phone or program to release food at a set time, but Ralph's incredibly scared of it. It's a real pickle. Yep, definitely a real pickle. But I've invented a solution. I call it the mightily elaborate, overly whimsical slope transportation of pellets for pestiferously early risers, the Meow Stopper. Essentially, it's a giant cat food marble run spanning my entire house, and it's gonna be magnificent. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and keep an eye out for the bronze, silver and golden cat statues hidden somewhere in the background. I want the first section to have a sort of Wallace and Gromit contraption feel, with drain pipes mounted above my bed. I'm going to be releasing 10 cat food balls at once, so to do so, built a simple pulley system. All I'll have to do is pull the cord and go back to sleep. So it starts above the bed, turns a couple of corners and into the hallway where it goes above my bathroom, but I've still got enough room to go under. And then into my office where it turns again, goes down this spiral, and then down the final drain pipe where the next obstacle will begin. It's simple and efficient, and importantly, as out the way and unintrusive as possible. A lot of my previous projects have been wildly inconvenient, blocking doorways or turning the stairs into a death trap, so the aim is to avoid that this time round. But anyway, on to the next section. This is a mini golf course, featuring as many mini cliches as possible. I'm talking a windmill, an open-mouthed crocodile, and 3 mystery holes. For the crocodile, I used a latex mask, which I padded out with paper stuffing and expanding foam. This was my first time using expanding foam, and let me tell you, it was just as fun as I'd always imagined. Next I got a simple windmill garden ornament, and cut a hole in the front for the balls to pass through. Also, the sails weren't long enough, so I made my own and spray painted them red, plus motorised them. Let's see if this works. I think that's probably a bit too fast. I slowed them down using gears. That's way better. And for the mystery holes, I cut 3 ordinary holes in a sheet of wood. 2 will continue on their journey, but 1 will lead to the final mini golf cliche, the sand pit. To make it look more like an actual golf course, I stapled on green felt and added rope borders so the balls wouldn't fall off. We have a problem. It seems that the increased friction created by the felt now means that this section doesn't actually work anymore. Oh, that wasn't meant to happen. So whilst Bella set about cleaning up the mess, I set about fixing the problem. I raised the back legs to increase the gradient and added these wooden barriers to better guide the ball. Finally, I set it all up in my office and we were ready for tee-off. At least until the morning. Yeah, Ralph's left me a little present in the sandpit. Yeah. Woke me up at 6 AM and pooped on my golf course. Thanks, buddy. So now the third mystery hole just drops sadly onto the floor. This is why we can't have nice things. But let's move on to the jungle-themed stair section, inspired by the marmalade machine in Paddington. I'm using bamboo pipes to guide the ball down the stairs and into the lounge. I had wanted to keep it as out the way as possible, but that quickly went out the window and it's now completely in the way. I decorated using fake leaves and added a few oranges in honour of the bear himself. This looks so much cooler now. Which brings us to the very last section, which like the Meow Stopper as a whole, also has an acronym for a name. The Irwabimkweti. Okay, maybe that one doesn't really work, but it stands for I really want a hamster but my cats would try to eat it. This whole obstacle is going to be hamster themed, using tubes, ramps and wheels to finally deliver the food to Ralph's bowl. I built a crude hamster cage out of wood and painted a series of colourful ramps inside for the balls to roll down. Add some bars and decoration and it looked pretty funky. I'm using hamster tubes to join everything together and ultimately lead to the final part of the entire contraption, a giant open-mouthed mouth. A giant open-mouthed mouth. No, that's not right. A giant open-mouthed Ralph. There we go. I questionably photoshopped his mouth wider and had it printed as a poster, which I mounted on a wooden board. I then cut a hole where his mouth is and fed through a hamster tube. I call him Mega Ralph. On the other side is a large drop, where the balls will fall onto a giant sieve, split open, and the contents will funnel down into Ralph's bowl. All that was missing was a real hamster. Bumkweti. And I believe that just about concludes it. So with industrial, mini golf, jungle and hamster theme sections, is the Meow Stopper actually capable of stopping meows? Or is it just an overly elaborate trip hazard? There's only one way to find out. Good morning everybody, you join us here at 6 AM where half asleep Chris is currently fully asleep, but not for long if Ralph has anything to do with it. A proverbial starting pistol ready to get this event underway any moment now. Come on boy, give us a meow. And we're off. Chris pulls the cord to initiate the Meow Stopper and the race is on. We've got 10 contestants here, all vying for a chance to be cracked open and their innards feasted upon. And you really couldn't ask for a better prize than that, evident by the sheer quality and speed we're seeing right out of the gate and as we round the first few corners. This section, however, has been known to slow even the most experienced of cat food balls. And then it's on to the Spiral of Doom. Something of a misnomer as it's essentially a giant fun slide. Whee! Just look at them go! The final drain pipe sees our brave contestants washed away like spiders and brings us to the mini golf course and into the jaws of a crocodile. Chilling stuff, but it doesn't faze these seasoned athletes, each eager to be the first into the jaws of Ralph. Down the holes they go, and good lord, we have our first casualty. Let's get a replay of that please, Jeff. It's straight off the side of the green. Oh, that looked painful. Only 9 contestants remain as we approach the windmill. And what a remarkable piece of architecture it is. The red sails are nothing short of exquisite, but can the balls get their timing right and escape being hit? I'm on the very edge of my seat. Hold on to your whiskers, we have another 2 casualties if my eyes aren't deceiving me. First the windmill claims a victim, brutally pushing the poor ball aside, and at such a dastardly sight another ball seems to have lost the will to continue, and stops right there on the green. We had such high hopes for this ball, there was even talk of him making the national team, but it's all over now, and only 7 balls continue. Let's catch up with those 7 as they approach the mystery holes, subject to an appalling act of vandalism last night, which is why the sandpit's currently absent. And Gordon Bennett, we're down to 6. At this rate, poor Ralph's gonna have nothing to eat and will surely be meowing for all eternity. Let's keep our fingers and toe beans crossed then as we enter the jungle, where the remaining contestants will have to keep their wits about them. This is what all those hours training have been for, the late nights, the early mornings, and I must say they're in fine form as they negotiate the sharp angles and zoom towards impending glory. Bam, into the sponge. Bam, there goes another one, and bam, another. It's neck and neck as we approach the final obstacle, which Chris is calling the Urwabum Coeti. That's not a real word. Has he completely lost his mind? I guess that's what not having a hamster can do to a fellow. He's even built an entire cage, complete with a water bottle, wheel, and even a fake hamster. This really is quite pathetic, but please forgive me for getting sidetracked. We're on the home run now. Into the tunnels they go, racing forward and so nearly at the finish line. Just look at the composure and pure technical ability on display here. And yes, we have a victor, entering the mouth of Ralph and splitting open like a coconut, closely followed by the other 5 athletes. My, what a competition. It's been splendiferous and a true honour to commentate. Back to you, Chris, good sir. So it works, but will Ralph eat it? Bella! Once again, she's more than happy to hoover up the mess, somehow entirely avoiding the bowl itself and opting for just the pellets and mist. But what about Ralph? Will it finally stop his early morning meows? Nope. If anything, it seemed to make him meow more. He did eat a single pellet, literally just one, and once again from the floor, not the bowl, but then went right back to meowing. Well, I tried. He seemed somewhat more enamoured by Mega Ralph, however, and that kept him quiet for a little while at least. But I guess I'm destined to forever be, wait for it, half asleep. Now in a video a few years ago, I went to Bruges to film a giant cylindrical drum atop a bell tower, essentially a giant music box that controls the bells. Well, this video sponsor KiwiCo have sent me a miniature version of that, and it's incredible. KiwiCo make educational hands-on projects like these, aimed at exposing kids to science, technology, engineering, art and maths, STEAM, with 9 different monthly subscription crates catering for all ages. So now I've got to slot these pegs into the holes on the drum to play the Ralph and Tom theme song. They're a great way of learning at home and actually making it fun, as well as turning it into a personal family experience with hours of entertainment. Here we go. That's amazing! The crates contain everything you need and come with detailed kid-friendly instruction. It's a domino laying robot. Seriously, it doesn't get much cooler than this. If you want to learn the STEAM concepts I use to make the absurd projects in my videos, KiwiCo really is the way forward, and you can get 50% off your first month of any subscription at kiwico.com/halfasleepchris. Oh, and did you spot the cat statues?